Picture this: a quiet convent in 17th century Sicily, suddenly thrown into disarray. Nestled in the heart of Palma di Montechiaro, tranquility is shattered as the nuns realize Sister Maria is nowhere to be found. A frantic search ensues, echoing through the grand halls and secluded rooms of the stately monastery. Yet, Maria remains elusive. Left with no choice, they approach her living quarters, their hearts pounding with trepidation. What the nuns found behind Maria's door would shock them to their core. As the door swung open, the nuns were met with a sight they would never forget. A scene of chaos unfolded before their eyes. Among the disarray was Sister Maria, their lost companion, consumed by an eerie trance. In her hands, a parchment, the source of all the commotion, a mysterious letter. The letter was unlike any they had ever seen. The words were not written in any known language, but in symbols that seemed to dance and twist before their very eyes. The parchment itself was no ordinary paper. It was coarse and aged, as if it held secrets as old as time itself. Sister Maria claimed the letter was not of her doing. Instead, she told a tale that sent chills down the spines of her fellow sisters. The author of this cryptic message, she said, was none other than the devil himself. The devil had possessed her, using her hand to pen his dark message. As the nuns listened in disbelief, they observed Maria. Her eyes were wild and her voice shaky. The once serene and pious nun now seemed to be a stranger, lost in her own home. She spoke of visions and whispers in the night, of a force that gripped her, compelling her to write. The content of the letter was as disturbing as its supposed origin. Sister Maria claimed it spoke of the devil's disdain for mankind, his plans to sow discord and chaos. It was a message of doom, a prophecy of darkness. The nuns were horrified, but they were also intrigued. Could this truly be a message from the underworld? Or was it the product of a disturbed mind? The discovery of the letter sent shockwaves through the convent and the church beyond. This was not just a tale of a missing nun. This was a tale of possession, a message from the devil himself, a mystery that would remain unsolved for centuries. And as the nuns grappled with Sister Maria's revelation, they found themselves plunged into a world of fear, suspicion, and uncertainty. The church was faced with a conundrum: how to react to such a disturbing claim. The news of Sister Maria's eerie letter spread like wildfire, not only within the confines of the convent, but also into the heart of the church, the local community, and beyond. The church was plunged into a maelstrom of uncertainty. The clergy, traditionally the pillars of faith and reason, found themselves grappling with an unsettling question. Was this a genuine message from the underworld, or the delusions of a troubled mind? Some church members saw it as a warning, a call to arms against the forces of evil. Others dismissed it as mere hysteria, an unfortunate symptom of the isolated, cloistered life within the convent. The local community, deeply intertwined with the church, was equally divided. Many were frightened, viewing the letter as a tangible manifestation of evil. Others, more skeptical, saw it as nothing more than a scary tale, a ghost story to be whispered in hushed tones on dark nights. Meanwhile, the wider public was fascinated, drawn in by the macabre allure of the tale. The letter became a topic of heated debate, dissected and discussed in taverns and marketplaces. Conspiracy theories flourished, each more outlandish than the last. Some suggested it was a hoax, a clever ruse by the convent to attract attention and donations. The church, caught in the crossfire of public opinion, was compelled to respond. They decided to launch an investigation, hoping to quell the rising tide of fear and speculation. Yet their decision was not without controversy. Critics argued that by giving credence to the letter, the church was inadvertently lending legitimacy to superstition and fear-mongering. The letter had far-reaching effects, with the church's response only adding fuel to the fire. The tale of Sister Maria's devilish letter serves as a chilling reminder of the power of fear and the unknown. It demonstrates how a single, unexplainable event can send ripples through a community, a church, and indeed an entire society. With such a sensational claim, an investigation was inevitable. The church, the community, and even the public at large were intrigued and alarmed by Sister Maria's extraordinary assertions. It was as if a chilling wind had swept through the quiet hallways of the convent, leaving a trail of uneasy whispers and fearful glances. The investigation began with a thorough examination of the letter. The handwriting was identified as Maria's, but the language was unfamiliar, a tangled mess of symbols and figures that defied comprehension. The church brought in linguists and codebreakers, but the script remained an enigma. It was a strange, indecipherable language, as if it truly were the devil's tongue. The investigators then turned their attention to Maria herself. They questioned her, seeking to understand her motives and state of mind. Did she fabricate this tale for attention, or was she genuinely tormented by demonic forces? Maria, however, remained adamant. She claimed that she was possessed by the devil when she wrote the letter, and that she had no control over her actions. Her conviction was unsettling, her gaze unwavering. She was either a master of deception or a victim of a terrifying supernatural occurrence. As the investigation continued, strange happenings began to occur around the convent. Unexplained noises, mysterious shadows, an eerie sense of dread that lingered in the air. The nuns reported feeling watched, and some even claimed to have seen apparitions. The atmosphere grew tense, the fear palpable. It was as if the devil himself had descended upon the monastery. The investigators were at a loss. They could neither prove nor disprove Maria's claims. The evidence was inconclusive, the testimonies conflicting. But one thing was certain. Something inexplicable had happened at the convent, something that defied reason and logic. The investigation brought to light some shocking revelations that none had expected. The convent was never the same again, its tranquil silence replaced by an eerie, unsettling quiet. The devil's letter, whether a hoax or a genuine message from the underworld, had left a lasting impact. Sister Maria's story would continue to haunt the hallowed halls of the convent, a chilling reminder of the mysterious and the unknown. In the wake of the investigation, the convent, the church, and the public were left to grapple with the implications. Sister Maria, once a humble nun in the quiet Sicilian convent, was now the center of a chilling tale that would echo through the centuries. Maria's life post-investigation was marked by isolation and scrutiny. Her every action was monitored, her every word dissected for signs of further demonic possession. The once tranquil convent was transformed into an atmosphere of suspicion and fear, a stark contrast to the peaceful sanctuary it once was. The church, too, was not left unscathed. The incident threw into question the very foundation of their faith, challenging their long-held beliefs. Sister Maria's claims, whether true or not, highlighted the constant battle between good and evil, a theme that resonates at the core of their doctrine. The public reaction was a mixture of fear, fascination, and skepticism. The story of the possessed nun and her devil's letter spread like wildfire, reaching far beyond the confines of Palma di Montechiaro. Some saw it as a warning sign, an ominous testament to the devil's influence. Others dismissed it as a mere fabrication, the product of an overactive imagination. Yet, despite the varying opinions, the story continued to captivate, its allure only growing with each retelling. The aftermath of the investigation left a lasting impact that reverberated through time. The tale of Sister Maria and her devil's letter was woven into the fabric of local folklore, an eerie reminder of the thin line between the divine and the demonic. It became a subject of study for theologians and paranormal researchers alike, a puzzle that, to this day, remains unsolved. The nun's letter from the devil left a mark on history, a chilling tale that continues to intrigue to this day. As we reflect on this chilling tale, one can't help but wonder, what forces were truly at play in the quiet corridors of the Sicilian convent? How did Sister Maria's life and the lives of those around her change after the discovery of the devil's letter? Could it have been a mere figment of her imagination? Or was there something darker lurking in the shadows? This 300-year-old mystery continues to baffle and intrigue us, leaving more questions than answers. What do you make of Sister Maria's account? Could she have been influenced by her religious beliefs, or was there something more sinister at work? These are questions that may never have definitive answers, but they certainly make for an intriguing conversation. So, let's keep the discussion going. What do you think of this intriguing story? Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more fascinating tales from history.